Welcome to the HMAR Mobile Tech channel, and I'm working on a 2024 Ford F350 with a 7.3 liter. And the job I'm doing today on this is I'm going to replace the driver's side, so left side, rear taillight assembly, and this incorporates a blind spot sensor that has like a dark cover over it. So I've got my little mini preset torque wrench here. It's a little T-handle. It says 4 Newton meters. I don't remember what that is, maybe between 1 and 2 foot-pounds. And I like using these because for plastic housings, when you go to put these bolts back in, it's not going to break them. It'll click and it will work for so many different things. Also hose clamps. So you get your 8mm, and I've already kind of loosened everything out of here to make it easy for the film this video. And so when you get these out of here, there's going to be a spot here, and then a spot over here, and then a spot down here that has like a little kind of like little fingers that stick out. So there's one there, and then you'll see the hole there, and then there's one down here at the bottom. So I think just kind of gently kind of pry it backwards here. And then what you need to do is you need to take these 3 connectors off. So the middle one is the blind spot sensor, and there's the upper and the lower there. And you'll need a flathead screwdriver, or you can use a little tiny pick, and you just pick at them, and then if you see, they've got like a little push down tab, and then so you can push those down and pull them off. And if you need help with the flathead screwdriver, you'll get right under that spot right there. And then if you can see where it's moving, you can get it under there just to kind of pry it back. Now this middle one's a bit difficult, so what I've always used in my videos are these fuel line disconnect tools from eBay for about $10. And they sometimes don't break the connectors, but sometimes they do, but usually they don't. And so I had to use that in order to get this one off here. And then the same thing, I just used the small flathead screwdriver to get this bottom one off. The problem now is that we have to take this housing off, and then we have to transfer the housing over here and then connect it in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And what you're going to need is a Torx T20, and I have what I like to use are these little screwdrivers here with the hex. So it's the T20. And I've got to take out these 4 bolts here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look closely here and you'll see these little alignment pins here that go through here, so you don't break them off inside here or damage this housing. And then we'll put our grommet back in place, and we'll real gently figure out how to get this off here. And it looks like it's just you push down. You just push down here, and it should slide right backwards. There we go. So we got that off real nice. I've marked this side here with the 2 arrows going up, and then just made my alignment tabs. So then that way I can easily put it onto the new one. And then you just plug it in the way the old one came out. So just the little spring tab here facing up with this flat side facing down, if you're able to see that in the shot. And then we click it in. And then we just do a backwards test on it. Little pull test on the back. Don't pull the wires, pull the connector. So that's all good there. And then we just put our arrows, tuck the wire in here, and double check the grommet's good. Okay, grommet is good and even all the way around. Tuck the wire in. We'll need to use a little bit of this silicone lubricant around the gasket so it goes in. This little O-ring here, we'll just give it a little bit here. A little bit goes a long way. so that way it'll go in without a fight. And again, you'll check to make sure it's even all the way around. Just push it up to where it goes all even. Okay, tuck the wire down. Okay, and then we'll remember the orientation was that way. And line up our pins. Once you see the pins line up, you should be good. And then it should be able to just kind of snap in and go in real easy now. Now we know it's in. It didn't kink, it didn't go sideways, so we know it's good. And then we take our screws here and we'll go ahead and put everything back together. Now we got them all back in and everything is seated flush. All the alignment pins are the right direction, sticking through, meaning, and then the arrows line up. So as far as I'm concerned, everything looks beautiful and I'm ready to go ahead and put this thing back together. Now we want to get a little bit of this silicone spray in the connectors here. Keep it waterproofed and so they go in real easy. And that's just about enough there. Grab our tail light assembly and paying attention here, it looks like we'll need to do some removal of these little finger tabs that go into the holes there. I think there's a slightly larger one that presses over it. I was able to use my fancy little tool here that I use for everything, and I was just able to pinch it and pull it off. And pinch this one and pull that off as well. And let's get the other one now. So if you'll remember that this larger size one went here on the bottom, and we'll just shove that on there. Okay. This one here, the smaller one goes on the top. Just push that on there. And so we'll go ahead and align everything here once we get it all connected. And I didn't label these, but it's the one that's on the top that's hanging up here is the top one. This is the middle one, and the lower one hanging down is the lower one there. So I'll go ahead and line that up and snap this in. Okay, and I heard it click, and I just do a backwards tug test on it. And then I'll put this one in here. And I heard a little click. Do a backwards tug test on it. Remember to just pull on the connector itself, not the wiring. And then we'll do the top one here. We'll push that down till we hear a click and do a backwards tug test on it so we know everything's good. And then I'll go ahead and line up the wiring here and our little pins that go one on the top, one on the side. And I guess once you get all those lined up and everything looks like it's kind of seated where it's supposed to go, and then you'll just kind of push in going that way. And then you'll kind of see it all get seated there. And you'll see all around here that it's flush all the way around. See how that's all in there good? And then you can look over here and the screw holes should be completely aligned. And so we'll use my tool here that's preset torque on it. And we'll find those female threads in there. And I'll just kind of start to get them both going here. You might need to use your helper hand to hold it in just to get it started. And actually this is actually too weak. So I'm going to have to get something to get these a bit tighter, because as you can see, they're still sticking out a little bit there. There we go. Tighten these down a bit till they're snug. That looks good. Same thing over here. That looks good. And we just do a wiggle test. And I like to just go another quick, like that. So they're all both good and tight. And if it makes you feel better, it does me. Just go and do a quick, make sure everything's all good, lined up, on properly. Now we do the full test of the lights. I'm doing a test of the with the key fob here. Good. Let's lock it. Okay. So I'll go into the car now and I'll run through the turn signals, make sure everything's looking good and everything's working on that left side, driver's side there. And make sure there's no error message in the instrument cluster. So I just got the key onto the number 2 position. So left turn signal, right turn signal, emergency flashers, brake, all brake, stepping on the brake pedal here, start it up. And the auto lights are on, so everything should be lit up. And normally I would see an error message here. I'm just looking at the instrument cluster right now. Everything looks good. I'm not seeing any faults here. I'll do the parking brake release, and that's when I'd always see it. When I set the parking brake, I would see an error message there in the middle. So I'll set it again. And at this point, you know, in time, it would say rear tail light, something about the blind spot sensor malfunction or something, and I'm not seeing that message anymore. So it tells me that I've plugged in everything properly, everything's normal, and there's no faults, and so I don't need to get out my scanner and clear any fault codes. Without anything else to show you or anything else to say, you did a good job. Subscribe, like, and share. Watch some of my other videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.